Guerrilla marketing is not new, but it's been very popular over the last 2 decades. Because it is unconventional and non-traditional, it's bound to get your attention. By definition, guerrilla marketing is unconventional marketing, promoting, advertising intended to get maximum results with minimal resources. So the main thing from this definition is maximum results and minimal resources. It became popular in the late 1970s, but in 1984, J. Conrad Levinson coined the term guerrilla marketing in his book, Guerilla Marketing: Secrets for Making Big Profits from Your Small Business. It demonstrated how small businesses could compete with large, successful competitors with little to no money. The knowledge that small businesses obtained from this book completely changed the advertising industry. The goal of guerrilla marketing is to use unconventional tactics to advertise on a small budget. Because it's unconventional and non-traditional, like I said, it is bound to get your target's attention. As you will see, most guerrilla marketing campaigns are done outside, but what makes them different from traditional out-of-home advertising is that guerrilla marketing is unconventional in its experience, and it's done on a very small budget. So let's look at some examples. This first example, neglected children are made to feel invisible. In this campaign, Stop Child Abuse Now, for the Australian Childhood Foundation, they took child-sized mannequins and placed them in high traffic locations, and a poster was pasted over them with only their feet and legs showing. Imagine walking past this. This is definitely going to get your attention. It's going to make you stop to see what's going on. It looks so realistic. And then it's just really simple. It's a poster plastered on the wall, and it's white, and the text just says, neglected children are made to feel invisible. Very simple, but very creative, unconventional, and you can do this on a small budget. Here's another example. Folgers Coffee. So this guerrilla marketing campaign transformed normal New York City manhole covers, a large steaming hot cup of coffee in the middle of the street. That's bound to get your attention as well. If you look at it closely, it's just a sticker over a manhole. And you can see it looks like coffee. It catches your attention and makes you look at it, and you see, hey city that never sleeps, wake up, Folgers. So very simple, unconventional, creative. It's an experience, and it's cheap to do. This one is called Stop Human Trafficking. So as you know, human trafficking is a big issue all over the world. And this company, Amnesty International in Germany, wanted to raise awareness, and they decided to do a guerrilla marketing campaign. So you have a contortionist squeeze herself into a clear suitcase, and then the suitcase was sent around a baggage carousel in an airport. And then you have stickers on the suitcase that made it clear for people standing around that something was going on. This was an advertisement or a public service announcement. So let's see how this played out. you can see, this is very unconventional. It's bound to get your attention. Imagine this company spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a campaign where you have maybe magazine ads, TV ads, billboards that people may not even pay attention to. Guerrilla marketing catches your attention. Like I keep saying over and over, it's unconventional. Now, this would be compared to a big campaign like the TV and billboard and print. This would be much cheaper to pay a contortionist to get into a suitcase and go around a carousel. So it's very effective. You'll remember it. You'll definitely remember it. This is a campaign that IKEA did, and their tagline for this campaign, "A little fabric makes a big difference." So what they did is they turned bus stops, buses, parking meters, they turned them in something colorful and pretty with their fabric, and so that's what they were advertising. So like they made this look like a little cozy living room setting to bring awareness to their brand. On some of their another part of their campaign is they put curtains on public buses. And so things like this will get your attention. It's going to definitely bring awareness to your brand. Some people don't even know that IKEA sells fabric. So this definitely brings awareness. It's unconventional. It's something cheap to do, of course, with permission to do it. Here's another one for Windex. And the tagline for this one is "Glass so clean, it's invisible." And let's just watch it and see what happens.
Wrong address, guys. Let's move it, guys. Right, you guys can come out. You can come out. Just make sure you move the glass. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Watch the glass. Watch the glass. Rain the glass. Let it through. Yeah, you got hurt. It's so clean, you can't even see it.
So as you can see, people actually thought there was glass there, and that Windex made it so clean that you couldn't see it. That has to have a big impact. You see people going around these guys because they really think they're carrying glass. So this is another example of being unconventional. It's creative, it's bound to catch your attention, and it's something cheap to do. So you're paying these two guys to walk around like they're carrying glass when they're really not, right? Now this example is probably the most perfect example to fit in this category. So this is from a local dentist office where they're advertising. They put these things around trees. So this is made with construction paper, right? So they take pink construction paper and make gums, and then they cut it out to look like teeth, and then they have their information on it. So this is bound to catch your attention when you're walking down the street just because it looks like teeth, right? It's nothing new to post these flyers up with the tear off stickers on them with your information, but the way this is done is unconventional. And then, as you can see on the right, the two images, once people start pulling them off, it started looking like teeth are missing, and that's even more effective. And then at the bottom right, you can see there's their information for the local dentist. Okay, this last example is for the Sopranos TV show on HBO, very popular show. And during the time that it was running, they decided to do this campaign where in New York City, they had hands hanging out or different body parts as if somebody was dead in the trunk. To represent the show, because it's about the mafia and they're doing things like this, killing people and putting them in the trunk. So very clever, bound to catch your attention, something cheap to do. The only problem was that people thought that this was a real person hanging out of a trunk. And of course, not everybody, but the police department kept getting calls about these cars with people hanging out of the trunk. Is somebody in the trunk? Is somebody in the trunk? And here's the license plate. So they had to stop running this campaign because their lines were getting stopped up with people calling to report this. So other than that, it fits the guerrilla marketing campaign. It was somewhat successful, but then it had to be stopped because of what was going on because of it. Okay, so those are the examples of guerrilla marketing. Of course, I could have gave you so many more, so I just picked out a few that I wanted to show you. And now I just want to give you some guerrilla marketing tips. Planning. Spend time planning. Think about how this is going to play out. Consider what can go wrong. Think about the experience for your target. Plan this out. This is very important to plan out. Think about, is your ideal non-traditional? Are people going to remember it? And is it unexpected? So it's non-traditional. I walk past it or be involved in it in some way. Is this unexpected? Am I going to remember it? Am I going to go home and talk about it with my kids or my cousins or my husband, right? So those are very important. If your brand was a small business, could you do this on a very small budget? So remember, that's one of the most important things for something to qualify as traditional guerrilla marketing. Another thing to think about is guerrilla marketing tactics are designed to not appear as marketing, but your message should still be clear. So you want it to look like an experience, and it should be experience where it doesn't appear like it's marketing, but your message still has to be clear. It is so creative and eye-catching that people cannot stop talking about it. So I'm walking down the street and I see this. Let's just use the first example with the child mannequin. If I drove past that and walk past it, I'm going to tell people about it, tell them where it is so they can see it, or maybe even take them to it. And the last tip is think about being quirky, funny, unique, and clever. So you have to brainstorm, think outside of the box, and nothing is too out of the box as long as you can do it and as long as it is effective.